We're here in Monte Carlo for the Rendez-Vous de Septembre. For MBS TV, I'm Richard Banks. And I'm joined now by Waleed Jabsheh, who's CEO of IGI. Waleed, welcome.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So it's good to see you back here in Monte Carlo again. You've spoken about having identified some opportunities in short tail and reinsurance lines. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, we all know the situation in the reinsurance market, what happened at the beginning of this year, the hardness, the increase in rates, the changes in structures, the increased retentions, the narrowing of coverages. The reinsurance segment for us has always made up around 5% of our portfolio, but we were able to take significant advantage of opportunities at 1/1 and throughout 2023 so far. And we envisage that book will probably go to around 10% of the overall book. In the first 6 months of the year, it grew by 135%. Obviously, our book is diversified, and what this market has allowed us is to diversify it even further. Traditionally, it's been more of your traditional marine, non-marine sort of portfolio, but we've added elements of political violence, which are very attractive from a reinsurance perspective at the moment, along with dipping our toes into cyber, which the beauty of reinsurance, doing it, the reinsurance way, you're able to cap out your downside and know what the worst case scenario could be for you, thus managing your aggregates in a very prudent fashion. On the short tail lines, we're seeing continued attraction to engineering, where our book has grown, where the market has hardened over the last few years, and we can those conditions have held up very, very strongly. We haven't seen that capacity, flow back in to drive competition. But we're also seeing, attractive conditions continue and improve in property, for example, in the U.S. Space, where we entered about 3 years ago, in political violence, in contingency. So, the attraction is there. The market conditions are still in our favor. So we're still very optimistic about what's ahead.
So market conditions in your favour. There seems to be a general consensus that, at least in aggregate, we're in a hard market. But hard markets typically don't last as long as soft markets do. So how much longer have we got to run?
I think this market still has legs. I think it. To be totally honest with you, I get surprised with some people that question how long it's going to be run, because it's just started. We're only 6-9 months into it. If you look at the last 5 years from a reinsurance perspective, margins have been very limited. Returns have been poor, if any at all, and you've got 5 years of poor results to make up for. And yes, the first 6 months of this year have proven to be very, much improved and very profitable. The market in general is posting healthy combined ratios and ultimate net profits. But 6 months is only 6 months. We still have the rest of the year to go, and you don't know what happens between now and the rest of the year. And 1 year is not enough to make up for the last 5+ poor years. So I think this market still has legs, and the reinsurance market will have, will show resilience in this regard.
So you talked about where you see the opportunities. They're typically in the shorter tail lines. Longer tail lines seem a little less attractive to IGI at the moment. Why is that, and what would have to change for you to change your views?
It's a cycle. The longer tail lines have been benefiting from significant rate increases over the last 4 or 5 years, and in some cases, high double-digit rate increases across some of these lines. So naturally, you get to a high level of rate adequacy, and competition starts coming back in, driving prices down. So we're seeing that pressure on lines such as D&O, especially financial institutions, and a bit on the professional indemnity side. Not as pressurized as the other ones, but I think in a concerning way, I think it's trending in that direction. It's expected. It's part of the business. It's part of the cycle. We have to, be cognizant of the conditions. and take the necessary actions to mitigate that. And if it means scaling back and taking a back seat for a little bit, we'll do that. That being said, rating adequacy across most of these lines remains at healthy levels. So ultimately, it's not about the rate movement, but the rate adequacy itself. And we believe there's still opportunity there, but areas such as short tail and reinsurance are definitely more exciting.
Well, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
For AM Best TV, I'm Richard Banks.